Right, this is a video for a Toyota Land Cruiser. This is a diesel LC5, so it's the top of the range car. 2004, very rare beast. This is a manual car, most being automatics, but there's a really strong following for the manuals as well, for obvious reasons. The car's been very well looked after and is in fantastic condition inside and out. I'll just go around the car for you and pick up anything obvious. Obviously we have to bear in mind the car is 12 years old, but certainly its condition would suggest otherwise. Lenses on the front here, fog lamps, headlights completely unmarked. There's no condensation, no cracks otherwise in those. I can't see on the front of the car here, bonnets, there's going to be a stone chip there somewhere, but it's very, very hard to see anything on there at all. Coming to the front offside wing, again completely clean, no chips, no marks, no dents. Front tyres are absolutely brand new. Don't know whether you can still see the painted line on there, so they're very recently fitted. Alloy, that's the only thing on this car, and to be fair, they're better than most of this age, but they do have kind of surface marks on those, which is very, very common indeed. Flanks of the car, paintwork in really, really crisp condition. Rear tyres, again, got tons of tread, at least sort of 80% tread left on those. And the alloy, same as the other one, just showing sort of marks that, again, just the age-related kind of sort of pickling you get on the lacquer of them. But it really, said that the video doesn't really do justice to just how crisp and clean the bodywork is. Let's go down there for you. I can't see any car parking dinks there at all. Rear lens on this side, again completely marked, as is the lower lens there as well. Come around the back of the car, all in very, very fine order. Really good quality, twin electric tow bar there. Obviously it's a Toyota fitment one with the protector plate. There was one around the back. I did see a tiny little dimple dent somewhere. I'm just trying to find it again. Oh, here we are. And it is, I'm really nitpicking, but you don't really can see it, just a tiny little one there. Come around the side again, lenses on this side, completely spot on, no cracks, no condensation again. And just come down again, bodywork on the side, really, really, really clean and crisp car. For some bizarre reason, on this side the alloys are in, they almost look like new. Again, tyre on the back's lovely, and the alloy's really good. So whether it's parked one direction and it picks up a few little marks, I don't really know, but it will remain a mystery, no doubt. And finally, again, obviously front's been changed at the same time. You can just still see the painted marks on the rubber there, and the alloy again very, very good on this side. So realistically, apart from a couple of alloys which personally I wouldn't touch, but it's up to the individuals, then look at the car in absolutely fantastic condition. Alright, coming into the boot area now. The interior of this car is in absolutely stunning condition. There's only very, very few light marks on the plastics which give light to any kind of age or wear in it. You can see here with the rear seats, obviously there's 3 seats in the back. They stow up very, very simply indeed, takes seconds to do that. And you can remove them completely, and again they're actually very light indeed, so they're coming out very easily, but you end up with an enormous boot area in the back. Front seats flip and fold forward, again a lovely simple system as well, so that you end up with an absolutely colossal boot in these cars. Just pan around here, I've dropped it down open for you just to show all the original tools are still in with the vehicle there for you. So coming to the back of the car now, I've put these rear seats up there just to show you just how easy it is to access the back of the car. Carpets again, absolutely fantastic condition. They almost look like new in there. Just really amazing how well this car has been kept. But it doesn't look as though these rear seats have been sat in very much at all. Again, a very comfortable seat there. You've got proper lap belts on the sides there, and you've got this roof mounted one which comes in and goes over to the rear, the middle passenger there as well. But it is, so video doesn't really do it justice. It's in quite superb condition. Coming to the back of the car now, rear door card, again just looks like brand new. It's absolutely amazing. Huge amount of rear legroom in the car, and the leatherwork is in absolutely stunning condition here. Behind the front driver's seat, passenger seat there, No nasty kick marks otherwise from passengers on there. Likewise, all the plastics in here, really good indeed. And back of the driver's seat there, again, there's just no marks. And again, all the carpeted area looks just in stunning condition. It really does. Door guard on that side again, in just superb condition. We're coming to the front of the car now. Driver's door card again, as with the rest of the car, you know, absolutely wonderful. Sill area with the side step there again, just looks as close to new as you'll ever see. It's the electric powered front driver's seat there. Leatherwork on the seats in absolutely fabulous condition, it really is. The only wear you're going to see, quite normal wear, just a tiny bit on the bolster there, in and out, but I mean it's minuscule. It's exactly what you expect and hope to see. Because these cars are quite high off the ground, you find a lot of the Land Cruisers with, you know, sort of a heftier frame may well damage these, and you've got obviously the leatherwork damaged. Less so on the LC5, because you can just press a button and lower the height to get in and out of the car. Passenger seat again, you know, absolutely superb condition. Right, so inside the car now, engine running, passenger door card on the front, as with the rest of it, in absolutely superb condition there. Dashboard itself, all the plastics, again I can't see a mark on those. Lovely colour combination in these cars. Just to pan down here, just want to show you rather, got the full owner's manual pack with the car and the original lock and wheel nut set for the vehicle as well. Coming across to the centre console here, again just, you know, wonderful condition. Big screen sat nav there. You've got controls there for climate control, just going to pop that on a second. Press that on. Just give that a little check, let that sort of kick in for a second. Further down here, got radio, and bless it, it's got a tape player in there as well, which is good to see. Further down, we've got controls here for heated seats, your diff lock, and a power outlet. Obviously 5-speed manual gearbox is a real rarity there, but that air's coming out absolutely ice cold, and it's sort of a muggy 18 today. Low and high range controllable there, and then down here obviously LC5, so you've got your ride height adjustment there, and then your switch, hopefully you can see that, for your you can soften or harden the ride of the vehicle. Coming across, dashboard, and we've got the engine running. There's no warning lights on the car, and as you can see there with the LC5 you've got your control to change ride height as well. What I'm going to do now, just very quickly, is just press that down just to show you. That'll flash away until it's lowered the car down, which I can feel it doing right now. Mileage on the car, as you can see there, 90,572 miles. It was on 89.8 I think when we bought the car, but in fairness I have used the car very recently for a few trips, and so I can verify or vouch for just how well this thing drives. And I'll put that back up so it's normal height again. And then obviously steering wheel, again all in just top condition. It's really just hard to just say how nice this car is inside. Electric window switches there and other switches further down. I mean, it's worth pointing out that, you know, with the Land Cruiser, you know, these are designed for, you know, some fairly hefty use, and a lot will be bought by people who will be doing kind of work which naturally will bring sort of dirt into the car. So to see them like this is very rare, and a lot of our customers come to buy from us who have seen other cars who, you know, they've been used for their purpose, but this is an absolute beauty. Well, there's a video for a Toyota Land Cruiser. This is the LC5 version, and it's registered GK04PFY. Mileage at the start of this brief road test is 90,560 miles. The reason we do these road tests is basically we want people to see the cars in operation prior to them coming to see us, because we're now selling to customers from all over the near continent and the extremes of the UK, and we just want to give you the confidence to know that if you're going to come and see one of our cars, you can see it in operation, and if there's anything I need to tell you about the vehicle, good, bad or otherwise, I can do so. Worth pointing out also that the test drives that I'm doing now is on exactly the same roads as you'll be doing yourself, so it should hopefully be representative of what you'll experience as well when you come and see or drive the car if you wish. So a bit of background to the car, supplied to us by a local prestige main dealer when they took it on part exchange. I've had numerous Land Cruisers. This one obviously a rare model, so it'll be very sought after. It's not that many miles, very well looked after by Toyota themselves, and obviously as you can see here it's the manual version, which are few and far between. So if someone has a particular requirement for manual over auto, then it's a good find. So what I always do, obviously, start with the engine. I'll go through the mechanicals of the car for you, but basically engine starts absolutely on the button, very smooth. All the noises it's making are exactly what I'd want to hear from one of these engines. There's no strange noises, vibrations, whistles or otherwise coming from it. It's a lovely example of one of them. Idles absolutely rock steady, as I can see there now, and pulls to its rev range really, really well indeed. It's got loads of oomph to it. The engine obviously then drives through clutch and into this manual gearbox. Clutch itself is very light, very easy to use. It's the actual actuation itself, there's no squeaks or clicks from the clutch pedal. Feels beautifully engineered, as the rest of the car is, but more of that a little bit later on. When the clutch is in and out, the engine makes the same note. There's no discernible change and there's no vibrations on it at all. And it, put your foot down, there's no hint of slip. Not really expect one. We've never done one on one of these, but so clutch is absolutely spot on. The gearbox itself, very typical Toyota, beautifully engineered gearbox. Again, I can't find any detectable wear in it. The changes are smooth. The synchro meshes are really good. There's no crunching. First to second's really good. All the other gears, in the linkage, when you're in gear as well, there's no slop to it at all. It just feels exactly like it was from the factory fresh. Very, very nice order indeed. What I like about it is the fact that even though you're in a big car, you've still got a lovely kind of chunky feel to drive the vehicle, and all these controls, have that kind of feel to them as well. But it's also very, very easy. Anyone could get in and drive this car. Wouldn't intimidate anybody, but it has got that kind of heavy engineering to it as well. Coming to the rest of the car, brakes, lovely firm pedal, very powerful indeed. I can't feel any pulsing or any noises from the brake pedal at all. When you hit the brakes, it pulls straight. It's not sort of pulling left, right or otherwise. Steering of the car tracks absolutely bullet straight. There's no vibrations coming back through the steering wheel that I can feel at all at this or any other speed that I've experienced. And the steering itself, it's a big, heavy, proper four-wheel drive, but it does have kind of there's an accuracy to the steering which is really positive. And again, I cannot find or detect an ounce of wear in the steering at all. There's no slop in, sometimes with any car of any age, you get a little bit of wear and tear in them, clearly. But with this one, said it just, when you turn, it turns with no kind of delays, no kind of feeling that might be something sort of worn underneath at all. Likewise with the suspension of the car, clearly this is, for those who know the LC5s, this is top dog. So unlike the lesser Land Cruisers, you've got full air suspension on the car. That's very important when you come to the little things, like if you're towing with a vehicle, you can just press a button, lower it down, and then you've got a sort of a lower bull height. So it makes hitching very easy indeed, but it also means you can have the ball hitch slightly higher up. Sometimes you have to compromise the ball height, and that can mean that you end up with a kind of the nose too low down when you're travelling. Obviously, when you travel with air suspension, it maintains an even ride height, so there will be no sagging at the back of the car, which is again why the LC5s are particularly sought after for all sorts of towing. The suspension itself goes around about its business really nice. Actually, this is a horrible road, which is why I always go up on a road test. So it's going to test any car, but it rides really smoothly. There's no clonks, bangs, no hint of any wear under the car that I can feel at all. It's a real testament to just how well this car has been looked after. You'd also have other little settings down here. You can vary the stiffness of the suspension. So if you put it to comfort, you know, it's a bit more roly-poly. I tend to have it in kind of full sport or just under. For normal road use, it just means the car, there's less lean to it, and there's less sort of bounce for passengers. But obviously you've got a diff lock in there as well. But you know, all the functions work really well. I've got low and high range, so if you're doing some serious off-roading, then you can do that as well. In terms of the rest of the car, lovely condition, really fantastic condition in here. The interior on a lot of LC5s, a lot of sellers are advertising them as in good condition, which they probably are for their, the use they may have had. Kind of a lot of them used for kind of, builders used them, but unfortunately they can look very, very worn inside, just to sort of grubbiness really. Whereas this one is in really fabulous condition. Obviously, again, LC5, so you've got big screen sat-nav system that all works absolutely perfectly. All the controls here, there's not a hint of wear on any of the switches. Everything I press works with that kind of click-click precision, and it works really well. Likewise, when I came to the main instrument binnacle here, all the gauges working perfectly. The readout for the odometer is not pixelated, not that I'd expect it to be. The height control instrumentation working absolutely fine as well, and temperature gauge just under half, which is exactly where you want it to be on a Land Cruiser. Just going to check one thing, just cruise control. Just want to set it a second, make sure it's all working, which it does absolutely perfectly. So yeah, so that's all fine. Steering wheel, again, can't really feel any wear in it at all. It's absolutely spot on. It's literally everything I've pressed or otherwise, and poked has worked exactly as the manufacturer intended to. It's it just shows just how well built these are, which kind of brings me on to my last point really, because this is, for those who know Land Cruisers, they won't touch anything else, and that's just not that sort of badge snobbery or anything. It's out of they want a car they can trust, and with the Land Cruiser, more than any other car by a country mile in its class. In this class you've got the big Nissan Patrols, the obviously the Land Rover sort of Discoveries, and then you've got some of the German stuff, and they are, you can discount kind of X5s and MLs because they're not proper four-wheel drives like this thing, and they're not built anything like as well. They're nothing like as reliable. Nissan Patrols are sort of clunky old things, quite endearing really, but they're not as tough as these. And the Land Rover, which I've got a real soft spot for, it's a wonderful design, and they drive beautifully, but just you've got a very, very, very deep pockets to run them, because they're in terms of reliability, it's just not in the same stratosphere as this thing. These are very, 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 very sought after cars for a reason. That most people have tried all those others, wanted to be patriotic, and kind of given up the ghost. In this, you've got something that is, as dependable as any machine can ever really be. Even these can go wrong, but that we hardly ever have an issue with them. We've sold loads of them, and I've had loads personally as well. But as an example of one, if I could find a fault with it, I would tell you. But looking around the car inside, apart from just a valet, I'm talking cosmetics now. It all works exactly as it should. But the stuff you want to concern yourself with clearly on any car, the major mechanicals, engine, turbo, gearbox, clutch, four-wheel drive system, it really is as tight as a drum. It's a beautifully it's got a beautiful feel of sort of, you know, how well it's been looked after. And you know, if anyone comes here and drives the car, you'll feel exactly the same as me. Hopefully so, anyway. But again, you know, a couple of little things on the Land Cruisers. They are full 8-seat cars. You've got 3 proper seat belts in the back there, 3 in the rearmost seat as well, and then the 2 front ones. So it is an 8-seat car, which is a bit of a rarity. Rearmost seats are very, very easy to stow up vertically or even completely remove. They're actually a lot lighter than they look. You can easily manage to get them in and out. But anyway, so as I say, it was only a short road test, really, just to give you a kind of feel for the car. You know, so I hope it's been of use to you. If there's anything I've missed out on the road test, then don't hesitate. Do give us a call, and we'd be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. But as I said, based on the road test I've done here, and certainly comparing it to my previous Land Cruisers, I cannot fault the drive of the car in any way, shape or form.